Nigerian-born star Runtown, born Douglas Jack Agu, was once hailed as one of the most promising artists in the Nigerian music industry. With the release of his breakout single Galado in 2014, which featured Davido, Runtown's name quickly spread through the entertainment scene. His debut album, Ghetto University, followed in 2015 and earned commercial success with collaborations from heavyweights like Wizkid and DJ Khaled. It was Mad Over You, released in 2016, that elevated Runtown to continental and international status. The song was a phenomenon. It topped chart across Africa, made an appearance on Billboard's Twitter Top Tracks at number 38, and played globally in clubs, radios, and concerts. In that moment, Runtown was not just another hitmaker, he was a star with global reach. At the height of his career, Runtown was signed to Eric Manny Entertainment, a label owned by Nigerian businessman Prince Ogudili Umeyora, popularly known as Dilly, CEO of Dilly Motors. The contract, initially perceived as fair and promising, included a 50-50 revenue split and was managed through a connection with Bugo and Neto Okeke, who at the time managed Eric Manny's operations. On the surface, the partnership looks beneficial. Dilly had the resources and influence to push Runtown to greater heights, and Runtown had the talent and momentum. But as the fame grew, cracks began to show in their relationships. According to Runtown, Dilly became controlling, demanding personal mentions in Runtown's music, which the artist resisted. What began as a creative disagreement soon escalated into threats, intimidation, and eventually alleged physical confrontation. Reports emerged that Dilly had at one point pointed a gun at Runtown following a dispute over an unauthorized performance. More troubling was the fact that despite the global success of Mad Over You, Runtown claimed he was not receiving royalties. His music was everywhere, on radio, online platforms, in clubs, but he was financially broke. Runtown decided to act. He released a new track titled For You with similar rhythm and feel to take over Mad Over You in an attempt to regain control of his earnings and sustain his relevance. The song did well, but the underlying issues with the label remained unresolved. When the original contract approached its expiration, Dilly reportedly offered Runtown a major incentive to renew, a collaboration with Nicki Minaj. Enticed by the possibility but cautious due to past betrayals, Runtown initially declined, but after intense pressure and veiled threats to his career, he reluctantly signed a 2-year renewal. Eventually, the Nicki Minaj collaboration never materialized. It was, as later revealed, a tactic to keep Runtown under the label's control. The situation deteriorated further. Runtown accused Eric Manny Entertainment of refusing to pay royalties and interfering with his performances. In May 2018, the label filed a 267 million naira lawsuit against him for breach of contract, claiming he had failed to deliver an album and had booked shows without the label's consent. They also alleged he attempted to trademark the name Runtown independently. In retaliation, Runtown Camp filed complaints in Nigeria and abroad, including New York, where he secured a ruling that directed the label to resume royalty payment. That order, according to Runtown, was ignored by the label. The legal battles continued for nearly 9 months, halting his ability to release new music or perform freely. In January 2019, a federal high court in Abuja ruled in Runtown's favor, restraining Eric Manny Entertainment from interfering in his career and lifting the injunctions against him. Freed at last, Runtown launched his own independent label, Sound God Music Group, and returned to the studio, but the damage had already been done. By the time he emerged from the shadows of litigation, the industry had evolved. A new wave of Afrobeat artists had taken over the spotlight. Burna Boy, Naira Marley, Rema, Fireboy DML, and others were reshaping the soundscape. Runtown, who once stood at the forefront, was now struggling to regain his footing. His 2019 EP Tradition and 2022 album Signs, though critically respected, did not receive the kind of widespread reception his earlier works had enjoyed. Years of silence had cost him visibility, and in the entertainment industry, absence often equates to irrelevance. Beyond music, Runtown also faced personal controversies. Reports surfaced of debts owed to landlords and disputes over unpaid rent, further tarnishing his image. While he maintained a relatively low public profile, fans and industry observers began to question whether he had retired, relocated abroad, or simply lost interest in fame. But those who followed closely understood that the trauma from the Eric Manny ordeal had deeply affected him. The spotlight that once celebrated him had become a burden. In truth, Runtown's fall wasn't due to lack of talent or audience. It was the result of a toxic business relationship legal entanglement, and an industry that moved faster than he could recover. From global hitmaker to an artist barely in the conversation, Runtown may still have the potential to come back, but as it stands, his journey from grace to grass remains one of the most striking examples of how quickly the music industry can build and break top superstars.